Hello everybody, welcome to the Pokemon channel. I'm definitely the Pokemon from the Pokemon channel. I'm 100% not Legendarychomper. Is Legendarychomper's motto, we don't grow old, we evolve? No, I don't think so. But that ain't important, cause this is Monster
Legendarychomper, what are you doing? You aren't red.
Bob? When did you get here?
I've always been here, through time and space. I am you in your depths of imagination. I am Jeff.
Oh, so your real name is Jeff? I never knew. I'm still gonna call you Bob though.
My name is irrelevant. Monster battle isn't your thing. You are an idea stealer or something?
Alright, I admit this is Red's idea, but he hasn't made any monster battle recently, has he?
Yeah, I guess you do have a point. But tell you what, make me your co-host and chef, and I will be very, very happy.
Blackmail, huh? I don't know if I can do that. I already got the script all written out and...
So you've chosen death.
Wait, fine, okay. You can be the co-host. I got a partially written script here just in case I found someone else to be the co-host. But we'll have to improvise a lot.
Okay, nice! Let's get started! The world of Monster Hunter is filled with majestic creatures that inhabits the vast regional ecosystem, from the docile Aptonox to fire-breathing Rathalos. Even abominations like this guy exist. Jeez, looks like someone's sleep paralysis demon. These monsters are always at each other's throat, competing for the top spot on the food chain.
But for some monsters, that spot is their birthright.
Like Tigrex, the roaming, roaring wyvern with an insatiable appetite.
And Brachydios, the crushing wyvern with an explosive temper.
You know, this reminds me of like Death Bat.
Monster Hunter is a franchise home to all different kinds of monsters, specializing in different traits, like Nargacuga with its unmatched speed, Deviljho with its ravenous furiosity, and Diablos who rules the desert with its power.
But there's one monster that's so ferocious like Tigger, the psychotic nature of Barney, it even outweighs them all. Like literally, and it's a Tigrex. Under the title, The Roaring Wyvern, Tigrex made its first appearance in Monster Hunter Freedom 2 as a flagship monster, and has become a fan favorite since.
And for good reason. Tigrex is a terrifying sight to behold, a true test of skill and reflexes, a stone wall for sure.
Tigrex is a ferocious predator growing up to a maximum size of 24 meters long, and armed with sharp claws and teeth, capable of tearing apart anything resembling flesh. That combined with speed makes Tigrex built for the hunt.
Wow, that was a real big understatement. So, I'm going to compare Tigrex to Earth's most crazy predator, the Spinosaurus.
Legendarychomper, wouldn't it make more sense to use the...
I'm just kidding ya. I'm using the T-Rex. So needless to say, Tigrex is a fair bit bigger than the T-Rex, but we can clearly tell that their skulls are similarly built. Most of the T-Rex's head was dedicated to one thing, delivering huge, powerful chomps with its bite force estimated to be coming at 3,628 kilograms of pressure. That is crazy. That is like 3.5 black rhinos, or almost an entire Asian elephant sitting on top of you. And some sources even say it had a bite force of 5,443 kilograms.
Using those numbers and dividing it by the T-Rex's length of 12.3 meters, we can find that the T-Rex has 295 to 443 kilograms of bite force per meter in length. Multiplying that to Tigrex length gives Tigrex estimated bite force of 7,080 kilograms on the lower end and a higher end of 10,632 kilograms. If Tigrex was real, it would have the second strongest bite force of all time, only beaten out by the Megalodon, with its bite force of 10,900 kilograms. More than enough to tear through flesh and crush bone. Oh, but that's not all. Tigrex is also equipped with a powerful set of lungs. You know the Tigrex title of Roaring Wyvern? Tigrex is literally capable of roaring so loud that it creates a sonic boom. A sonic boom is 200 decibels. To put it in perspective, a person talking is 60 decibels. 100 decibels is a chainsaw. A gunshot is 140 decibels, and 150 decibels is enough to burst your eardrums. 185 and higher is capable of killing a person. Keep in mind, this is a minimum. Tigrex probably has an even louder roar because there have been cases of sperm whales emitting clicking noises of up to 230 decibels. I think it's safe to assume that Tigrex has a roar similar in volume to this.
Wow, that seems like overkill. I mean, Tigrex, buddy, you are already one of the most relentless, ferocious monsters out there. Like savagery incarnate. You can run up to 50 kilometers per hour. Heck, you can jump huge distances and even glide with those wing arms of yours. Why do you need a bite and roar that strong? Of course, Tigrex's bite force and roar wouldn't mean anything if it didn't have any feats to show for it.
And boy, it sure does. Tigrex is a roaming monster, and while it prefers colder habitats, it can live pretty much anywhere.
Exactly. Tigrex is not only very adaptable, but since it's roaming, it also has a ton of experience going up against other monsters. The life of a Tigrex isn't a dull one. Tigrex is constantly getting into fights, easily charging through weaker ones like Congalala, Great Jagras, and Yankutku, and can easily kill mid-tier monsters like Radobon on a Monday. But that's not nearly as impressive as the fact that Tigrex is able to fight on level grounds with Acidic Glavenus, and even Gammoth. Acidic Glavenus can take out an entire pack of Gyros by itself. Sure, in-game Gyros are kind of a joke, but in canon a large enough pack of Gyros are able to take out an Odogaron. This shouldn't come as much of a surprise, since pack hunting is one of the most powerful adaptations in the animal kingdom.
Gammoth, on the other hand, is a much more extreme case. I'm going to be comparing Gammoth to the Paleoloxodon pneumaticus, the biggest prehistoric elephant. Paleoloxodon is about 7.3 meters long compared to Gammoth, who is... Hang on, am I reading this right? Gammoth is 26 meters long. The hell? That's almost as big as the blue whale! Anyways, while it is impossible to calculate just how strong Gammoth is, we can estimate. Typically, when organic matter doubles in size, its weight is multiplied by 8. Using the weight of the Paleoloxodon of 19.5 tons, I can estimate Gammoth to be around 234 tons. I know this isn't 100% accurate. Feel free to correct us in the comments, but this just makes our job easier, and the true answer isn't going to be much different. Now apparently, nobody's ever estimated how strong a Paleoloxodon is, so I'm going to use the African elephant. The African elephant is capable of lifting 9,000 kilograms. Dividing this by the weight of an African elephant of 6 tons, we can determine that it can lift 680.3 kilograms per ton. Multiplying 680.3 by Gammoth's weight, we can estimate that Gammoth is capable of lifting 159,190 kilograms. That's over 9,000 kilograms more than a blue whale. And Tiger goes toe-to-toe with this thing.
With all this going for it, Tigrex is almost an unstoppable force of nature. The absolute bloodlust and single-mindedness this guy gets when in battle cannot be matched by anything other than Elder Dragons, and then when it gets enraged it becomes even faster and stronger. How can you even stop this thing? Maybe we're supposed to say,
Sun's getting real low.
And that's for sure gonna calm this angry boy. Like, seriously, take a chill pill. Never mind!
Yeah, true. Tigrex is a force to be reckoned with, but it does have some very limiting weaknesses. Tigrex may be fast, but that doesn't necessarily mean agile. While Tigrex can run really fast, it tends to have a hard time turning or even stopping for that matter, sometimes even falling over.
Tigrex also has very little concern over its own well-being, and is an awful decision maker, and will sometimes challenge monsters outside of its leagues, and won't be coming up with any game-winning strategies anytime soon. Judging by the same anatomical head shape of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, Tigrex would have the same brain ratio as the T-Rex's brain. A T-Rex's brain is larger than a human brain, but the cerebrum, part of the brain that we use to think, is very, very tiny. In short, Tigrex never thinks before it acts.
And because Tigrex's main form of attacking is just sort of running at you, it tends to tucker itself out quickly, and is incredibly predictable, making it easy to bait into traps.
Despite those weaknesses, Tigrex is one big cat, or dinosaur, or whatever he is, that you don't want to mess with, and you better hope you don't stumble across it while gathering popo tongues.
We've already talked about how unforgiving the world of Monster Hunter can be. The world is inhabited by giant fire-breathing dragons. Dragons, for Pete's sake! Because of the evolution has to take some creative liberties, be it highly regenerative spikes using other monster's skull as a shell, or in this case, a symbiotic relationship with mold.
Meet the Brachydios. The Brute Wyvern, growing up to 20 meters long and making its first debut in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Brachydios is covered with a super strong obsidian black shell and is equipped with some bulky, highly developed limbs dubbed Pounders, coupled with powerful back legs, making Brachydios capable of leaping huge distances.
Beautiful speech, my friend. You deserve a Grammy Award.
I'm sorry. I just really like talking about Brachy.
One thing you aren't wrong about is that Brachydios is a real powerhouse of a wyvern and has only been harmed by its habitat. Usually, Brachydios lives in harsh volcanic regions like the Volcanic Hollow and the Elder Recess, home to some of the toughest monsters.
But let's not linger on Brachy's bad neighborhood. Let's get to know it better as a person. For example, did you know that its favorite sport is boxing? It was not easy for the fella. Its boxing career is really stacked against him, being smaller than most monsters. Brachydios trained for years, pushing its body to the limits until it was in top physical conditions like Batman. All that work eventually paid off. Its fists like stone pillars now and the strength of a Devil Joe. Brachydios took the large monster champion belt in the boxing ring.
Yeah, something like that. Brachydios' most powerful adaptations comes in the form of a symbiotic relationship with a unique mold. This mold, which is extremely slimy and sticky in nature, is normally green, but as it ages it turns yellow, to orange to red, until eventually, literally exploding like a stick of dynamite to spread its spores.
So one day, Brachydios came across some of this slime and accidentally got some on itself. As it turns out, Brachy's shell for some reason has the ability to stunt the growth of the mold, and its saliva has the ability to drastically speed up the growth of the mold. With this discovery, Brachydios applied the stuff to its horn and pounders, and voila! Explosive punches.
Brachydios tends to lick its arms in combat to prime the mold, and it tends to punch the ground in order to leave pretty much landmines around the battlefield. But that's not the worst of it. Should Brachydios strike its opponents directly, the slime will be applied to it. Yeah, if being punched by a Brachydios doesn't do you in, the point-blank explosion will.
You know how I mentioned Brachydios' boxing career? Yeah, I wasn't joking. Brachydios is a surprisingly tactical fighter, dodging and weaving in combat, attacking when the opportunity presents itself, and knowing when to push its advantage. You know, like a real boxer would.
So Legendarychomper set out to figure out how strong the punch of a Brachydios is, and well, I'll let him explain it.
Alright, I'm going to explain this quickly, so listen up. First things first, figuring out its weight. Using the same method we used to figure out Gambit's weight, and using the T-Rex's weight of 14,000 kilograms as reference, we can discern Brachydios' weight to be around 67,200 kilograms. One of Brachydios' arms is around 1/16 of Brachydios' body, weighing about 4,200 kilograms each. Through watching this clip in Brachydios' ecology so much that I'm sick of it, Brachydios' arm moves 15 meters in 0.1 seconds for speed of 150 meters per second, with a crazy acceleration rate of 1,500 meters per second. Multiplying Brachydios' acceleration rate by the mass of its arm gives us a punching power of a colossal 6,300,000 newtons, or a friggin' 642,201 kilograms. That is over 4.5 times the weight of a blue whale. I don't know how accurate this is because, again, I'm no mathematician, but regardless, if this punch is immediately being followed up by a point-blank explosion capable of destroying rock, then all that's going to be left of the opponent is nothing but ash.
Heck yeah! Backing this up, Brachydios is quite used to fighting monsters bigger than itself, capable of outright one-shotting like Nectar and Urgon. And remember, its shell we mentioned earlier? Yeah, that shell is really strong. It would have to be considering that it tanks its own explosion on a regular basis.
So, with all this, how can it be possible to beat Brachydios? I mean, it's really fast, can punch really hard, and has almost an impenetrable shell. Not only that, but when Brachydios becomes enraged, the mold explodes on contact instead of leaving a puddle behind.
Oh, that's easy, you can't. Brachydios is the most powerful monster ever. Not even Fatalis can stand up to its power.
What?
Brachydios is a true god of all monsters. Just one punch takes it all. Okay, pack it up. This video is over.
Alright, that's ridiculous. Let me tell you a few. Brachydios' shell isn't all it's quite talked up to be. Brachydios' underbelly is covered with a much softer, more fleshy carapace that is much easier to pierce that a smart hunter would be able to exploit. Another thing is that Brachy doesn't have infinite ammo. If Brachydios punches a certain number of times, eventually we'll have to lick his arms again to prime the mold.
But you know what they say, right?
Huh? What are you talking about? What do they say?
Cool monsters don't look at explosions.
Alright, I think we're all set. Bob, who's your money on?
My rice is on Tigrex. I think his brute strength and roars will give it the edge it needs to defeat the Muhammad Ali of all monsters.
I may be biased when I say this, but I think Brachydios will win this one. It's got the edge in explosive power and fighting skill. Sure, Tigrex has a brute strength and size advantage, but that isn't always the deciding factor in these fights.
I've got my rice. Let's see these things duke out.
Let the battle begin! And we have a knockout!
Nani? Impossible!
I'm gonna say it though, this was surprisingly hard to decide. Tigrex held the advantage in strength and a little bit more in experience, but Brachydios had an upper hand in endurance, defense, and firepower by a long shot.
Why would any of this matter if Tigrex could just roar and win that way?
Exactly! I thought the same thing for a while until I had a eureka moment. So, as you know, Brachydios is constantly punching explosions while also tanking them at the same time. You know what explosions are other than fiery? Noisy as heck.
Okay, I think I can see where this is going. Brachydios would have to have some kind of hearing protection for its explosions.
And that's what sealed the deal. Without its roar, Tigrex doesn't have any real way to hurt Brachydios. Tigrex biting Brachydios' shell wouldn't do much other than annoy Brachydios.
Keep in mind, Brachydios' explosions are capable of killing highly armored monsters like Uragon, who are bigger than Tigrex, the same ones that leave Brachydios completely unharmed.
It would be like if a street fighter were to fight a trained martial artist. Sure, the street fighter is loud and threatening, but if the martial artist keeps their cool, it's no contest.
And that, kids, is why you don't fight on the streets.
The winner is Brachydios.